I'm Margaret Vercruysse, and I'm Matthew's grandmother. I worked at Chase Manhattan Bank, and I worked in their trading office for a number of years. I worked in the trading department, but I worked on what is now considered back office work. It's keeping accounts and records and keeping track of what's going on and making sure things have been done correctly. And if there's a problem, trying to find where it happened and what happened and see that it gets corrected. And at the time that Gloria Steinem started her crusade for women, one of the things she wanted was women in the banking industry, and as a result I got a promotion onto the stock trading desk, which I held for several years. Later they formed a group to buy and sell options for their clients. And I went into the original group, which consisted of the man in charge, one trader, and me. And there I did not do any trading. I strictly made sure all the accounts were kept up to date and that we knew what money we had. When was it? 1968? But that's when I had gone back to work. We, as a bank, we were working for customers of the bank who had stock accounts with them, and they would place orders. They wanted to either buy or sell specific stock. Sometimes they wanted at specific prices, and sometimes they wanted specific brokers. And it was the bank's position to try to get them the best they could for the least, and also to keep a relative happy relationship with both the customers and the brokers who worked at the exchange. We didn't actually work on the exchange, we had to go through brokers. When I first graduated from high school, I went to work for Merrill Lynch, which is a brokerage house, and worked for about 2 years there. And I worked at that time in one of the trading departments, doing mostly the clerical work. So that was something that came back to me very easily when I decided to go back to work. And that was my first choice, was to work either at a brokerage or in a bank where there was brokerage, because I had a basic knowledge of what was going on. Well, it's a very interesting position to be in, because brokers would like to keep you happy and have you come back to them, specifically when no customer decides they want a specific broker. So you get chances to go to lunches and cocktail parties. I've been to several lunches in New York. One particular broker who used to play for the New York Giants before he turned into brokerage. And I've attended Gloria Steinem parties, which were purely political. And I also got to meet several people like Janet Leigh. She was hostess to one of the cocktail parties that I had gone to. And it was kind of interesting. You did get to meet a lot of people you would never ordinarily have known were around. I was the first woman on the Chase trading desk because Gloria Steinem wanted women on doing this kind of work at the banks. And at that time there were very, very few banks who would put a woman on a trading desk. I guess if I had any advice for anybody going into that area, it would have to be, they better be good at math, for one thing. Very good and fast at math. But they also have to be extremely sociable. They have to know how to talk and act with all kinds of people, because you have to keep everybody on the good side. But that's a very true thing. You have to be very polite. You have to handle people very nicely. No matter how impolite they may be to you, you still have to make sure that you don't do anything to turn them against you personally, because they'll just take business to another bank or another broker.
Mm-hmm.